Pam Hogarth. I work at LOOK VFX with Henrik Vett as the Director of Marketing. I've been doing visual effects been in the world for about a quarter of a century. Boy, that sounds old. I'm the Vice Chair of the Visual Effects Society. Before I came to LOOK, I spent about 20 years in education for visual effects. I think the major change in where the industry is as far as getting into it over the years that I've been involved. When I first started, as Henrik said, people come from all walks of life. I used to love to start a class with saying, how did you get to this room? And everyone had a different answer. I used to be a banker, I was an architect, and I decided to do this. Now there are programs and degrees that give you the education, and you can go directly into this industry. That certainly makes it a lot easier to become a visual effects artist. I think it will be interesting to see what it does to the final product, because I firmly believe that the variety of people that are in this industry traditionally has been part of what's made it so vital. But we'll see. May you live in interesting times. The Visual Effects Society, first off, is an international organization, which gives us an interesting perspective. It would have been very easy for us to stay as a domestic organization and fight only for artists in the United States. It's an organization that serves the interests of the visual effects practitioners, but there aren't other organizations in visual effects. There's not a trade organization for the businesses. There's not a union for the artists. So there really isn't another organization that speaks for all of the entities that are involved. And this last year for the VES has been interesting because we've realized and have been given the charter by our board of directors to step forward and at least speak for and to all of the entities that are involved in visual effects. So it's going to be interesting to see what that does for everyone involved. The world is becoming flat for all of us, for all industries, and it will be interesting to see how that changes. For LOOK, we've made the decision to expand. It's interesting for me to come back and leave the world of academia and go into production. It's been great. It's very vitalizing. One of the things that our industry should do is look over our shoulders at the music industry, because what's happened in the music industry is what's going to happen in visual entertainment. With the speed of the internet and connectivity and a digital pipeline into everybody's house, what that's going to mean for distribution of visual entertainment is vast. The studios need to understand this. The movie theaters, I'm sure, need to understand this, that the individual now, with the technology that's available, or a small group of people, can create entertainment that is just as good, just about as good as anything out there, and it can be piped into someone's home directly. What does that mean for the entertainment industry that we've seen? I think only time is going to tell. But I think it's going to democratize what's out there and who has access. Companies need to be a lot more efficient. Their pipeline needs to be really tight. They need to make sure that they're taking the best advantage of their creative talent, and they need to make sure they have the right talent, and they need to make sure that they're not wasting time doing things that cost money. So that's where your pipeline efficiency comes in, and having the best technology and the fastest connectivity. They also need to know, they have to be really clear about who they are and what they're doing and why they're doing it. It's really easy to let external forces push you into a direction that may not be the best direction for you. And I think companies that aren't clear about who they are and what they do best and what they can most successfully provide are the ones that get lost and eventually go out of business. I think there are more opportunities. I think they need to have a valid passport. They need to be willing to travel. The opportunities may not be at home, which I'm sure our hosts are well aware of. They have some amazing artists in this country. Italy has a great tradition of the arts and design. Unfortunately, they don't have a robust visual effects industry yet. We worked with a lot of Italian students at Noman, and a lot of them have come home and have found that it's tough to make a living here. So it may be they need to go to London, or they may need to go to Wellington or Chennai. But if they're willing to travel, and when you're young and single, do it. It's great, and get that experience. And then you have the opportunity to work where you want to work.